Hey Pixels! In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to easily design a cosmetic product label in Adobe Illustrator and then bring the label we designed into Adobe Dimension to design a 3D model and scene of our cosmetic product to bring it to life. Be sure to follow along and design your own cosmetic label because remember, practice makes xopixel perfect. This tutorial will be using the Nova Neon Design Asset, a pack of smooth and textured neon lights inspired gradients. Using this design asset will save you so much time and level up the look of your design. The gradient creation part is already done for you. All you need to do is just pick a gradient you like, drop it into your fave design app when you need a gradient. A true time saver. If you've ever wanted to create a product line, or maybe you already have one but want to use a better photo on your website, this tutorial will show you how you can do just that. So let's get started. So we're going to create a new document in Adobe Illustrator. First things first, I'm going to name my document. And I also want the width of my artboard to be 1.75 inches, the height to be 3.25 inches, and I also want to create 2 artboards. Because this is going to have the potential of being printed, I also want to have some bleed applied to the artboard. And in case you didn't know, bleed is the amount of artwork that falls outside of the printing bounding box and is used as a margin of error so that ink is still printed edge to edge of the page after the page is trimmed, giving a printed product edge-to-edge color. We also want to make sure our color mode is in CMYK color because that's the mode you design in when you are designing something for print. And then we also want this set to 300 ppi. So I'm just going to hit create. So we have our 2 artboards, but we're going to create some guides. That way any copy, so like the text we add to our labels, does not extend beyond, the guides that we're going to put in place. So I'm gonna hit Command R on my keyboard to open up the rulers. And I'm going to drag out 0.125 inches from the left-hand side of our artboard. And I can just hit transform and make sure on the x-axis, it's precisely 0.125 inches. So I'm just gonna repeat that for all 4 sides of our artboard. So we have our guides, now let's start designing. So I imported 2 gradients from the Nova Neon Smooth and Textured Gradient Pack. And basically I'm gonna grab colors from the gradients and apply them to our product label. I am going to work on designing the first product label. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to draw some rectangles to create a background for the label. So I am going to grab the rectangle tool and I'm going to draw a rectangle that's about a little less than half of the height of the artboard. So this is half. I'm just gonna kind of move it up like that. And then I'm going to hit I on my keyboard to grab the eyedropper tool. And I'm just gonna pick a color from the gradient. I like this pink. Now I'm going to draw another rectangle and I'm just gonna color it white. So in this first half, I'm going to type out the logo for our product. So in this case, body glowing. And I think I like the look of all lowercase letters. And I want this typeface to be belly display. That's such a nice typeface. I want this to be big and pretty much be nicely contained within the guides. Now that we have our logo, I'm going to type out the name of our product. So it's called Juicy Fruit because I'm imagining a really fruity smelling shower gel right now. And then I also want to just type out what it is. So it's a shower gel. And I'm just gonna change the typeface for this. So it's gonna be different than our logo. So I'm gonna open up the character panel, and I actually wanna use Source Sans Pro as the typeface. Increase the weight to bold. And this I will just leave at, let's see, semi-bold. Nah, I'll just leave it at regular. And I'm gonna reduce its size to 9 points. And then I'm gonna set this to 12 points. So now just a matter of, you know, playing around with the positioning. Move this down a little. I'm going to grab the line segment tool and I'm just gonna draw a line. And this is gonna help to visually divide the product name and product type from an ingredients list that we're gonna add to the label. So now we need to add some ingredients. I'm actually gonna go to the Lush website and just grab some ingredients to add. I'm gonna draw a text box. Let's paste those ingredients. So this is like way too big, so let's decrease the size to, I think 6 points is good. Set that to regular. And I'm just gonna modify this list. So now let's, I think we can increase that to 9 and I'm gonna make this gray. So this looks great, but I want to evenly space out all these elements. So what I'm gonna do is I just grouped the name of the product and the type. I'm gonna select the line by holding down Shift as well as the ingredients. So with all the elements selected, I'm going to open up the Align panel where it says Align to. I'm gonna make sure that Align to Key Object is selected, and I want to distribute the spacing around 8 pixels vertically. I think I'm gonna increase that a little more. Let's try 12 pixels. That looks much better. So as you can see, you know, it's just a matter of trial and error, see what looks good. Lastly, I want to add the amount of product on the label. So in this case it's 250 milliliters, just like that. Let me increase this to bold. And I will set this to 8 points, and I'm gonna add it to the corner. And I think I, in the process, might have deleted the guide, so let me just add that back. See, this is why guides are helpful, because, you know, it helps you align your content, but what you also need to remember is to lock your guides so that way as you're, you know, moving things around the artboard and selecting things, it doesn't get deleted like what just happened. Guides, lock guides. So this is our label. I told you it was easy. All we need to do is create our second label, and that's literally just changing the color. So I'm just gonna select everything, Command C to copy it. I'm gonna select the new artboard, and then I'm just gonna paste it like so. And I'm going to select the background of our second label, hit I on my keyboard to grab the eyedropper tool, and I'm just gonna grab this green. This looks so good! So we designed our product labels in Adobe Illustrator. They look so good. I'm so happy with how this turned out. So the final step that we need to do is have a way to import these into Adobe Dimension so that when we're designing our scene and mocking up our products, we can just easily add the labels. We're gonna use Creative Cloud libraries. So I already have a library that I created. We have our gradients. So I'm just gonna drag and drop these into the library because we will need to use this as the backgrounds for our 3D models. So I'm just gonna drag this into the library. We can also just drag and drop our labels into our Creative Cloud library, but remember we have a bleed applied to this. So we just need to reduce the edges. And I'm holding down Alt on my keyboard, and that allows me to resize both sides. And now all we need to do is just drag and drop this into our library. And now we're ready to import these and use these when we're in Adobe Dimension. That's how you design a simple yet stylish cosmetic label in Adobe Illustrator. Stay tuned for part 2 to learn how you can bring your label to life in Adobe Dimension by designing a 3D model and scene for your cosmetic products. I'll see you in the next tutorial.